Hi, I'm CeCee Torres with IdeateTV, and we're at Strategicon Gateway 2022, and I'm here with the co-creator of the game Last Days of
Athobrae. So yes, and it's good that I'm the one telling you because I did a lot of the alien language that you'll see in this sci-fi epic. So
Okay, so can you introduce yourself and tell us about your game?
absolutely. So my name is David Panzer, and as I said, I did a lot of work on sort of the mythos that you're going to see in this sci-fi game. Essentially, you've got a dying planet that is falling to pieces. So like as you're playing, the world literally comes apart under your feet. You are one of 5 unique alien races, all fighting for the last of the resources on this planet so you can build a spaceship and be the only one to blast off. So it's winner take all, everyone else dies in a fire cataclysm.
Wow, okay, so that is a lot. It sounds very interesting. And I know you're co-creators. How did you and your co-creator come up with this game?
All right, so, Brad, who did all of like the math. So Bradford Obie is the lead designer.
Shout out to Brad.
Big shout out to Brad. And he came up with this idea of the world falling apart. It was actually based on something like an Atlantis idea, like a story idea that we had. And then once we had this premise that the planet would be falling apart, that all grew out of that idea. And then it just kept building and all the mechanics kept growing, and I got super inspired and made 110 horrible world events that could strike you at any time.
Wow, okay.
And yeah, so the passion behind putting it all together really got us motivated, and it's amazing to see it now after it's been produced and ready to sell, because I remember when it was styrofoam cutouts in his garage in North Hollywood, and now it's like on the table, shiny and pretty, and it makes me very excited.
I was going to ask you, what is the process? How do you even go about creating your own game?
Yeah, so I mean, we didn't know. We're novices. We just loved the idea of it. So it started with a Kickstarter because it is a pretty expensive hobby and endeavor. And the first couple of those we stumbled because we were still learning. So we finally passed a third one, but there's a lot that goes into figuring out, how much manufacturing is going to be and all of that business stuff. Thank God for Bradford's wife, because she took care of all that good stuff. Big shout out to Chi as well. Yeah, so once all the playtesting happened and we had like a prototype and we could really play it over and over and over again, then the business side of things kicked in. So, yeah.
What's the response been to the game?
It has been really overwhelmingly good. So it's a little bit complicated at first and it looks a little overwhelming, but once you sort of get into it, you realize that it's not really as complicated as it seems, but it's got so many derivations. And I will tell you, all the games that I've played, people have walked away, even when the world has exploded in their faces, having had a great experience.
Well, that's what gaming is about. And how did you get into gaming? Were you always a gamer?
Not always. I mean, I always definitely liked the idea of like the tangible little pieces. And ironically, way back in the day when I was still getting my teaching credential, I had a job at a night shift at a boys' home, which Brad also worked at. And I don't want it to sound like we were remiss in our duty. We did our head checks, but we had a lot of time while the boys were sleeping to play games. And it all really started with Last Night on Earth, was a game that we got super into. It's about zombies. It's an older flying frog game. And then from there, I just started exploring so many others. Yeah.
And did you draw the individual elements of the game? Kind of sketch them?
Yeah, the concept of it, definitely. There was, the idea of like where all this stuff came from. And then that's a whole other aspect, actually, is getting the artist, because neither of us are really artistes. So that's like a whole other thing. But yeah, so there's so many little things that go into it. But when there's a passion behind it, it becomes easy to deal with.
If people want to get a hold of your game and they're not able to come to Strategicon, how can they get a hold of it?
Moonlitmoor.com. Is that right? Moonlitmoor.com. So MoonlitMoor.com. And our whole store is there, including a new game we've got that's going to be kickstarting. And there's other things in the works already. So check out moonlitmoor.com and you can pick this up there. Or if you could go to Amazon, but you have to type the entire name because otherwise it won't.
And the entire name one more time is Last Days of
Athobrae.
Athobrae. What does the name signify, if anything at all?
Honestly, what I was doing when I was coming up with these alien languages and races was like mixing up various different foreign words I knew. So bray is just a Scottish word for hillside, and I just added like this Athobrae. It sounded kind of sci-fi, but I did sort of mix and match various languages. So especially the Nordic stuff sounds kind of funky.
And walking around, you mentioned the passion for gaming and games. We see that, and when we interact with people and we see them as they're interacting with the creators here. What do you think it is about gaming that's able to ignite that passion?
I think the tangible camaraderie, like right there, and like just being able to like laugh and talk immediately with real human contact. And I mean, I know that people are playing their video games with their headsets and they're chilling with their friends. It's absolutely true. But there's something about being able to look someone in the eye and really smile and laugh that just builds like a really nice sense of community. And it adds an element to playing that, I think is just really important. It's a human endeavor, so you need the human contact.
And that's something, human contact is something we weren't able to get a hold of during COVID. So would you recommend, hey, pick up our game and...
Absolutely. Pick up the game, get 4 of your best friends over to play together in one room, and enjoy. Enjoy the end of the world.
Of course, figuratively speaking.
Of course, yes. Yes, only in the game. Only in the game.
Anything else you want to add about the game or the importance of gaming in our world right now?
Just in general, I think it is important that we have that human contact and to be able to play out some of those disagreements in a little mini version rather than in this big divisive way, I think makes gaming really an important endeavor. It can really bring people together. And as for this game, no 2 games are ever the same. We have built in so much replayability that I urge you to check it out because you will never play the same. I've been doing it for 6 years now. Never played the same game twice.
Okay, well, you definitely piqued my interest, and so I'm going to try it out and see how well I do my first time playing this game. So We'll see.
Awesome.
And for IdeateTV, I'm CeCee Torres here at Strategicon Gateway 2022. Be sure to like and subscribe for more videos from here.